Alright, so here's the dealio with this video. If you're clicked on it because you want to see me do some crazy review or what have you on this Xpro 1, you're not going to get it. And the other thing you're going to get is a little bit of repeat here and there. I shot this video I did probably 10 takes on this video and I can't get it right. So I decided I'm just going to go run with what I have, and then at the end of it, I repeat myself, but that's because I didn't feel like editing, like it was going to be too choppy if I edited it together the way I thought, you know. From 10 takes, if I edited it together, it was going to be fucky, so I didn't want to do it that way. But at the end of the video, I'm going to put up pictures. I have stills that I'm going to put up. So if you want to see the pictures that I can get out of these Xpro 1s, you can fast forward all the way to the end of the video, because quite frankly the first 17, 18, 19 minutes of me on the video is just blathering on and pontificating about bullshit. So you won't really hurt my feelings if you just skip right through it. Just a fair warning. Hey, welcome back. My last video was titled Broken Chairs and Old Video Cameras. And during the making of that video, I had done a YouTube search for Fujifilm Xpro 1 cameras. And specifically, I was looking for somebody who shot video with one and got good video out of it. I knew going into that search that I wasn't going to really find what I was looking for. The Xpro 1 was never designed to shoot video. Neither is this D600. It'll do it, but the D600 is better than these, but not by much. And it kind of sent me down a rabbit hole, and I thought that it might be an interesting topic for just a sit and talk video. I haven't done one of those, like a real sit and talk video, in a while. The last one, actually, or one of my favorite ones of my sit and talk videos, was about this Nikonis that I got. Photography, to me, isn't about the equipment. Now, granted, I've always lusted after the greatest and latest equipment, hence why I have not one but two Fuji Xpro 1s. These cameras harken back to an era of pure photography, very much like this Nikonis. Back when photography was something that not every kid was walking around with a pretty decent, truthfully, video camera slash for camera, period, in their pocket. I worked in a photo lab for a long time, from 1987 till 1997, for the sake of argument. I actually was on the books there till about 2000. Right around the time that real digital photography had started to kick in. The first DSLRs had hit the market. I wouldn't buy one because they were half frames. We'll get into half frame in a second. So I drug my feet on buying a digital camera for years. I took a trip to California, like a real DSLR. I took a trip to California with my new wife, and I had taken a point-and-shoot camera with me. And I'd never been to California, and I was shocked and stunned by how beautiful it was there. And I took all the pictures with a stupid point-and-shoot camera, and I got home, and I was just really bummed. And I'm not much of a... I need to stress that I'm an artist. I'm not a tech guy. My photography has always been snapshots. Worry less about exposure and more about framing and angles and what are you trying to capture. So I've always kind of lagged behind in equipment. I drug around that K1000 until I was able to scrounge up enough money working at Roy Rogers to buy a Nikon 2020, which was the first commercially available Nikon autofocus camera, because it was the latest and greatest. shortly followed by, or just preceded by, the F4, which I still lust after this day. But that's just because I'm a hoarder, a junk collector. So what's the point of this video? Well, the point of this video is kind of a response to a video that I saw, this video I watched last night. I'm going to link the video in this video, I think. I'm going to figure out, see if I can figure out how to do that, right? The guy, let's face facts. These cameras are old cameras in the world of digital photography. Nowhere near as old as this Nikonis, which was made in 1978 or something. But these are ancient pieces of equipment for ancient photographers. I'm an ancient photographer. My first DSLR was this D600, which has bounced all over the world with me. Well, bounced all over the United States and Central Europe and Scandinavia, and that's it. Why? Okay, I've been other places. Because I prefer these Fujis. I was doing a little bit of research before I shot this video on, I wanted to put some stills from these cameras into the video, and I was just going through the files that are accessible on my computer. I actually have 2 or 3 hard drives of pictures that aren't actually on my computers. I ran straight to hard drive, because I took, between these 3 cameras, I have probably 30,000 clicks, 10,000 on these alone, and this D600, I shot the piss out of it, and I still do. I use this camera to shoot all of my product stuff. If you've seen any of my videos on my night lights and things like that, all the pictures taken for that were taken with this camera. And none of them are doctored. None of them are post-processed at all. However the picture comes out of the camera is how those pictures are presented. And I do that on purpose. And I don't overly manipulate them in the camera either. It's, I pick my exposure, I pick my depth of field, I pick my exposure, I pick the density. And I fiddle with the colors a little bit to make them a little bit more true to life, or make them pop a little bit more, but not a whole lot. I generally shoot on standard, whatever the standard is. Now the Fujis are interesting because they have what they call film profiles. And if you've ever shot film, you'll know that every single different type of film has its own unique look. As far as I'm concerned, nothing will ever look like Kodachrome, no matter what you do. You can try it, but you'll never, ever, ever replicate Kodachrome. And if you have a chance to watch the movie or the documentary, The Last Roll of Kodachrome, I highly suggest it. And it irritates me a little bit. The guy spent his entire time in India for the most part, but he did it because of the colors. I know why he did what he did. Yeah, nothing looks like Kodachrome. As a matter of fact, these cameras don't even have a Kodachrome. As they are configured right now, they don't have a Kodachrome look profile. They do have a Fujichrome profile, I think, but not a Kodachrome profile. So where am I going? If you have the opportunity, if you're a photographer, if you're an artist, and you really want to embrace photography in its pure form, not this adulterated, you have to have the latest and greatest, the most massive image sensor with the greatest, 35 megapixel, blah, 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 with processors that'll process 50 burst shots in 1/10 of a second, which I'm not even familiar with new film. Hey, well, there's a little corrosion on this thing. Huh, wow. The Xpro one's not for you. But if you need that, if you need the latest and greatest in technology, the Xpro one is not the camera for you. Even if they are relatively inexpensive now. I don't remember what I paid for this one. I bought this one new from B&H via mail, but I actually bought the flash and this lens here. This is the 35 f1.4. I either bought I bought one of these two lenses. I think it was this one at B&H. Every photographer must make a pilgrimage to B&H at some time in your life. If you are a photographer, if you have passion for photography, you have to go to B&H. It's a must do. It is the seventh wonder of the photography world. This camera I bought in Bern, Switzerland. I had already had this one, and was bouncing through Switzerland. I'd been to Switzerland several times, and I took this camera the first time and wandered around, just around Solothurn where we were staying, and then the second trip I had this one with me and this one. And then I bought this one there. This at the time, this was a 2-year-old camera or a 3-year-old camera, so the price had dropped significantly from the. I want to say this thing was like $1,500 new, maybe. So I go into this lab or this shop in Bern with no intention of buying a camera. Actually, what suckered me into the place was this bag, this Domkey bag. I'd always wanted a Domkey, or Domkey, I don't even know how you say it. I mispronounce everything. But I wanted a new camera bag, and I had some time to kill, so I figured I'd go in there and take a look. And yeah, it was a cool old school camera shop. Everything in Switzerland's cool and old school. And I saw this body there. It was like 500 Swiss francs. And I really honestly couldn't resist it, and I bought it. As I already had I had another lens, so I was like, what the hell, I get 2 cameras, I get 2 lenses. Now I have 2 cameras, 3 lenses, and a flash. If you're not familiar with the Fuji Xpro 1, it never came with a flash, so this one's got a built-in flash. I don't know if it'll open. Yeah, there's no battery in this. This has got a built-in flash, but I also have an external flash for this. I'm not much for a flash photography guy. As a matter of fact, I use a flash so infrequently that it's just I take this with me, but I don't think I've used this. The flash is brand new. It came with this little case. Here it is. It has this little leatherette case that it came in. I don't think I've even taken it out of the case more than 3 or 4 times, and I know I've only ever used it maybe 5 or 6 times. I'm not very good at flash photography. I do it, but I'm just not very good at it. So, where am I going with this? Basically, if you have the chance to get one, I highly suggest picking up an Xpro 1. Man. Like I said, I wasn't too. I mean, the video sucked. I mean, it really was terrible video. But the still images that this camera captures are unrivaled by anything else I've ever used. I mean, my D600, I had a different. It's a 3200, and I gave it to my son. And a bunch of other point shoots. My iPhone, you know. But just straight up raw out of the camera is just right to print. We don't print things anymore, but there's no post-processing or any of that stuff. So this is kind of like a poor man's Leica. Now, ironically enough, you can put Leica glass on these. I've never tried it, and I don't really care. I have 2 lenses for this, or 3. I have the 18mm one, the 18mm 2. Yeah, 18mm 2, which is my go-to lens. And I have the 35mm 1.4, and they had like I want to say a 90. I never got the 90 because these are half-frame cameras. So they're already so this isn't really an 18mm lens to me. This is a 35mm lens, and the 35mm lens is actually a 50mm lens. And then I was going to Disney World, and I figured I'll pick up a zoom lens. So I picked up this cheap 20 or 50 to 230, which is like a 70 to 400, and this is an XC50. It's a 4.5. It's a 4.5 max aperture. It's more like a, you know, it's not a very good lens as far as lens goes. It works fine. The one thing I don't like about it is I have to use the electronic viewfinder. When I use these cameras, I very rarely ever use the back, the rear LCD screen. I very rarely ever use the rear LCD screen. I almost exclusively use the optical viewfinder because I like to shoot with both eyes open, and just like I like to shoot a pistol. And this allows me to see exactly what I'm seeing in real world, real time. The electronic viewfinders in these cameras kind of suck. That's not even, you know, yeah, they suck. The back LCDs aren't that great, but the images that this camera captures are just stunning if you know how to work the camera. Even if you don't know how to work the camera, because quite honestly, I've only ever used these cameras to maybe 1/10 of their ability. I got images that were just mind-blowing to me, and I just stopped futzing with it. It really sucks to me as someone who loves and has a passion for photography that you kind of get suckered into this. You need to buy the latest and greatest, most high-tech, expensive piece of hardware that you could possibly get to take decent pictures. And I refuse to believe that. Lenses, yeah, you want to get really nice lenses. Even some of the shitty lenses I've owned over the years took pretty decent pictures. I had one that was always out of focus, but I bought that for like $30. It's not in your equipment. It's not. It's up here. It's in here. It just kind of bugs me. I think this was a... I'm trying to make myself feel better because I'm not going to run out and buy a brand new MX5. I might go run out and buy a brand new 8 to 16 or 8 to 18. I forget exactly what it is. 2.8 Fuji lens first, and then I'm going to get a new video camera. I need a new video camera. My videos suck. I know they suck. I'm boring. I talk too much. My camera stinks. The heater above my head is making wind noise in the microphone. I know that. I don't shoot videos for you. I shoot videos for me. Thanks for watching. If you get a chance, if you can put your dick beaters on an Xpro 1 and a decent prime lens, an original decent prime lens, either the 35 or my suggestion would be the 18, I'd do it. Just so you can look like a hipster like I do, or, you know, when I have 3 of these things strung around my neck, I look like a Japanese tourist. I love my film camera, though. It's got a roll of Tri-X in it right now. I might go take a picture with it today. Just because I can. And then I'll wait 5 years before I see what it looks like.